Hello and welcome to the Yakking Show. This is an excerpt from one of our premium episodes. If you'd like to watch the full hour-long episode and get the transcript, hop over to our website, theyakkingshow.com, and sign up to become a member. Hello, it's Peter Wright and Kathleen Beauvais in Ontario, Canada.
Um, we always have interesting guests for our premium members, and today is no exception. We have the great privilege of welcoming Dave Fradin, who was a previous guest on our show about a year ago. He is the founder of Spice Catalyst. Dave has trained hundreds of managers throughout the world. He infuses his workshops with insights and experiences gained as a product leader at companies like Apple and HP. Today, he'll be discussing the 5 points of his Spice Catalyst principles. Peter?
Good. Well, Dave, we're living in uncertain times. Many people say unprecedented in human history. It's certainly unsettled, and we're heading into what we call uncharted waters. So what advice do you have for entrepreneurs and business owners to help us succeed in what for many are very unsettling times?
Is nothing more than a manageable product. To be successful is if they are successful, then the company is going to be successful. And this also goes for government agencies and nonprofits and charities and churches. It's the same 5 keys to product success, which happens to be a mnemonic for the word spice in the title of my company, Spice Catalyst. The S stands for strategy, the P stands for process, the I stands for information, the C stands for customer, and the E stands for your employees or your staff. So I thought I might go through each of those in a little bit more detail.
Yes.
By strategy, what I'm talking about is the product's market strategy. A market is a place where you go to buy something. The marketing is the process of getting people to go to the market. So what I'm saying is it's a market strategy that is the strategy for the product in the particular market that it's in. Like an iPhone is in the cell phone market, for example. And there are 32 components of the product market strategy that you need to think through and actually write a plan. And the word plan and strategy mean exactly the same thing. A strategy is a plan, and a plan is a strategy. So for your product market strategy, first you have to understand what is it that your customer wants to do. So understanding what it is that a customer wants to do is the most important thing for a company or an organization to sort out. And that's the first part of the product market strategy. With that in mind, you can then do design thinking, which is observing what it is that people do and designing products and or services, and then rapidly iterating on them so that you know that it's actually going to solve their problem. And that's related to the issue of, can you ask people what they want? And no, you can't, because if people do what they want, that means they've not only defined the problem they have, but they also have defined the solution, which means they got to think in the problem space and think in the solution space at the same time. And most people can't do that. An example of that is Henry Ford allegedly once went out in his hometown of Dearborn, which was just southwest of where I grew up in Detroit, and in the early 1900s, and he was thinking about creating a mass-produced car. So he called, so he asked people, would you like to have a car? And they said, no, I don't want a car. I just want a faster horse. Well, if he had spent some time at a local pub looking out the window, he would have seen people galloping their horses and whipping them with a whip to go faster and faster, because they needed to get from point A to point B faster, and they wanted to get their goods from point A to point B faster with their horse. So the question he should have asked is, would you like a way to get from point A to point B faster? And of course, the answer to that would be yes, which is a different answer than no, I don't want a car.
Sure.
Another side story to that is if he had done like a lot of people are doing now, searching the internet for the keywords that people are using, and then deriving from those keywords what the problem is that they want solved, and then developing products for that, if the internet existed back then, and Henry Ford did a Google keyword search for the word car, he would have found that nobody was searching for cars,
Right.
and nobody was searching for automobiles. So therefore, all of these cars we see out there, all these roads are a mirage, because people didn't really want cars. It's because they weren't searching for that problem.
Right.
And that's illustrative of a notion that came out of Stanford Computer Science School about 20 years ago, called wisdom of the crowds, claiming that if more people click on this link than on that link, then this link is probably more relevant. And that, of course, ignores the fact that people tend to spread negative information 10 times more than positive information. So those are the things that you have to take into account as you do design thinking, and understanding what your customer wants to do, and what the customer is doing. And the questions that you need to ask is, what do they want to do? Why do they want to do it? Where do they want to do it? How do they do it? What's important about getting it done? How important is it? How satisfied are they with the current solution? And an illustration of that is when a man and woman decided to write down things or draw pictures. They grabbed a piece of burnt wood or charcoal and they drew on the side of their caves. And then they noticed that the cave was not that mobile. They couldn't take it to the next cave and show their friends. So they took chips of rock and slate, and they wrote on that. They took that to the next cave to show what things they wrote down or pictures that they drew. And then they noticed their hands were getting dirty, and that was kind of messy, that to have to always wash their hands. So humankind then wrapped the charcoal with wood, and they called that a pencil.